I'm Chris Claremont, Comic Book Syndicate, assemble.
All right, we are back. Our guest, Mike K. Cook.
That's good. You got
Hey,
it right. Yeah.
I like that.
I learned something new tonight about the pronunciation of my last name.
He's Hungarian.
Yeah, Hungarian, and so I learned the proper pronunciation. I've been saying it wrong all these years, apparently. So I'm glad I came on the show.
That AM 800 is the show.
That's right, every morning 5 to 9.
Station.
That's the station,
it's
yes.
not
The
a-
show is the morning drive.
It's AM that's a frequency.
Very good. Continue.
There you go.
It's got to do with Sirius satellite.
Mm.
No,
That's the competition. I believe.
blue. Is it anything with Bluetooth?
Well, no, not that I know of, no.
Like that.
You know, your old-fashioned transistor radio that you had all the time growing up as a kid, that's what you can get us on.
So what's the show about?
The show is about letting people know what's going on in Windsor every single morning. So we do the weather, we do the traffic, we do the sports, news, all that stuff, and then myself and my co-host Lisa kind of fill in the blanks between all those different things and get people going, hopefully give them a laugh in the morning, and
Do you
then
talk
call
about
it a day.
comic books?
No, and it's interesting, when Mike asked me to be on the program, I don't know if I've ever read a comic book, or it's been since I was a kid. It was probably the last time I read a comic book. So I was a little nervous coming on with the trilogy here this evening. So, you know,
Well, you must
be
have-
easy on me.
Okay.
I'm a rookie at this.
But these books you've read.
I have read these, yes.
Okay.
There's another one, too. There's
Yeah, we
one
only have
missing here.
3
They're only set for...
We actually
Plastic
sold it
things.
to pay for the other pizza because we were short a few dollars,
That's a good idea.
but the first
Yeah.
printing was obviously worth it. So
Well, with a rudimentary understanding of the Super Friends, any of the Batman movies,
Yep.
the Superman movies
Which
you've
you've seen. You've seen
Yeah.
Super Friends.
And I think that's the reason, you know, we chose this one for this program, is because, you know, I watched Super Friends growing up, watched the Batman movies, all that stuff. So, you know, somewhat familiar with the background of these
But
these
did you
stories.
like any of those
You know
growing
what?
up? Do you remember even Spider-Man, who's a different universe?
It is?
Yeah,
It
it's
is a
different
different
company.
I didn't know that. No, I did. I always watched Super Friends. I remember that. I was into the original Superman movies, too, with Christopher Reeve. Always liked Batman, even, you know, the Adam West cheesy Batman.
stuff.
wait,
and
wait,
all
wait. What do you
that.
mean cheesy?
Yeah.
They weren't serious
Biff.
when they were doing
They're only
that.
cheesy in the
wow.
sense that Frank Sinatra is
Okay.
cheesy.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
continue.
Okay, I
Go
don't
ahead.
want to offend any of the old school Batman fans or anything. So yeah, I grew up watching all this stuff and familiar with it. So it was a cool read. It was a good read.
This is it's drawn by one of the greatest artists that we today. Anyways, his name is Alex Roy. Yes?
Ross.
Ross.
We've got his art up here, actually.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
it. Alex
Yeah.
Ross. Yeah, he's a pretty good artist.
He is.
And way to belittle his fantastic watercolor work by calling it drawing. Whatever.
Yes.
I'll set it up quick. It was written by Mark Waid, drawn by Alex Ross. Sort of a possible future for what could happen with the major DC superheroes.
Yep.
And then basically it just goes. Superman's been in retirement for.
But you basically get this nice view of what it would be if things progressed with superheroes. Would it really be all that great? And that's the question they kind of ask in this book. Or would they all get power hungry and would they just try to run the show?
So
Hitting
you
with
enjoyed
that-
it then?
I did. You know, I was really good. It was a cool premise for a story to see these guys older. You know, to see, you know, Superman, I think, working on a farm or something somewhere, and, you know, you see his gray hair is starting to come in on the sides, and you see a much older Batman too in this book. So I thought it was a really cool premise to go through it and see how they got them back into it and how they intertwined them with some of the other superheroes. And yeah, it was good. It was one of those that, you know, I flew through all 4 of them and didn't have a problem doing it. I was worried when Mike asked me to be on the program. I'm like, oh, I don't know about comics. Oh, I'm gonna read these things. And I picked it up last night, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It's a
I
great
can
story. I
sense
was
it.
surprised.
I gotta do that show tomorrow. I better pick these
Yeah, I
up.
guess I
Oh, yeah,
better read it
because
now.
Would you read another one?
I would read another one as long as it had something to do with something I'm familiar with. So if it was some new character that you guys are familiar with that I don't know about, I don't think I would pick it up and read it. But if it was, you know, Batman, Superman, kind of
Archie and Jughead.
Archie
maybe?
and Jughead, yes.
Maybe.
G.I. Joe, who knows?
G.I. Joe's cool,
Transformers, something you're familiar with from your childhood.
Yeah.
I think I probably could get into the stories. But if it was something that I wasn't familiar with, I don't think I
Well,
would.
Mike, we can tell you this. In my opinion, this is the greatest story ever written as far as comic books are concerned. So anyone off the street picking up a book for a first time and reading this, it's a pretty easy read.
Now, what do you think makes this more extraordinary than other books that you read? Just the premise of it and just how different it was?
You know, as far as DC Universe is concerned, you have an epic battle of Shazam versus Superman. That's pretty epic, and that the entire story of, I don't want to give it away, but like what's going on with Shazam while everything's transpiring, and then you have like new characters like Magog, who's introduced, who's just like, you know, incredibly powerful.
I don't know if you noticed in it, they show the UN building, and the UN building looks like the Justice League headquarters from the Super Friends show. You may have noticed that, or when they make the gulag at one point.
That's the Legion of Doom's headquarters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The thing is
I totally missed that, and I've read it like 10
oh yeah,
times.
for sure. The thing is like, what I'm wondering is like, this kind of thing has been done before. Like, I would say, not even Watchmen, with Miracle Man. As far as I know, this is heavily based on Miracle Man. This idea, Alan Moore was sort of the guy that introduced this idea of, usually when they do superheroes, they're young, they're at their peak, right? Things are about now. This is, when he did Watchmen, it's now later. It's like, well, we're all retired, and that all happened before. And that's what this is sort of like. It's like everyone's old and past their peak, and there's new people taking over.
And the general
right?
populace is also sick of them. And
Yeah.
sick of their... If a guy was wandering around with a big giant S on his chest going, hey, you, behave, hey, come on
Yeah.
now.
Then that's
You
what it's
too,
about.
straighten up. You'd be like, I hate that guy.
And get off my lawn.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what we're not saying now, he's so old.
Yeah. What I was wondering is, did you have any idea that comics were like this, or did you think that they were just more like Super Friends, more like cartoony stuff for kids?
Okay. Expand on that a little for me. As far as the content or the characters?
Do you think they were
or-
just going to be childish stuff where you're looking at these books, we're looking at the colors and everything else and going like, okay, well, this is going to be below my level of understanding.
You know, I did.
It's
I
going to
did.
be silly. I'm going to be bored.
Yeah, no, I did think that. I didn't think the story would be as complex and intriguing, and you're right, more adult-like than it was. I thought it would be more a kid's comic book. Here you go, read this. It reminds me of our childhood, so enjoy.
Well, yeah,
And it wasn't like that at all.
Oh, for sure. And you get moments in this as well where you've got that great Superman character walks into, I don't know if you remember it clearly enough, he walks in at the bar where all the superheroes and actually villains and everybody are just hanging out having a drink. And he comes in and says, we have to be heroes again. And he uses his X-ray, or not X-ray, his laser vision. Heat vision.
Heat vision.
This is George Foreman vision, and he smashes the bottles, and there's that great moment where that is him. That is a Boy Scout. That is the old lame Superman.
He did that originally, like in the 20s when they did the comics on prohibition and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, curse you, alcohol.
I'm Superman.
But are books more like this now? Is it more shades of gray in a
Definitely.
way
Absolutely
than
not.
black and white?
Absolutely not.
Well, and
There's-
you know, the thing is, I mean, you and Lisa both come in every day and see me with my stack of
Yeah.
comics. And what I think all of us comic readers think is, you guys must think we're really just reading like Super Friends.
Yeah, like
That's
curse
what-
you.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
I wait for that at the end of every episode, like every issue. Like, I get you. That doesn't happen all the time.
Like when I leave the house and I give my daughter a kiss and go, I have no regrets. You know, like,
So, are you a comic book fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your favorite comic book?
Franklin Richards, Son of a Genius.
Okay. And why do you like that one?
Because when he always gets in trouble, he got a new hamster. He took something from his dad's lab. He made it into a big giant hamster, and he thought it was a puppy, so he kept calling it a puppy. And Herbie kept saying hamster, and then his dad said, "How did he get here?" Like, not a clue. Just been sitting here playing with my hamster.